conflict, difficult conversations. So consider that when there's a conversation to have, when you are dealing with opposing opinion, we normally go into what I call either boxing or wrestling. So boxing being me against you, we're going to fight it out until somebody gets knocked out, right? So it's very win-lose, me against you, you against me, pound, 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 right? So somebody gets knocked out and then there's a winner. So a lot of, this is why we go to war, right? Is this energy of me against you. So not healthy, not a great outcome. Definitely not a collaborative energy. So, and this comes from fear, right? Me against you, my opinion, my way or the highway thinking is from fear, because there's no curiosity in how somebody else sees something. There's no appreciation for, there can be many ways of seeing something and many solutions. So it's very duality, very polarized, and a lot of our arguments are there. If you're in an argument, you're there, you're boxing. And if you're observing an argument, they're boxing. So that's not a healthy way of communicating. Okay. Wrestling. That's the other way that we often go into these difficult conversations, where if you think of a wrestler pins the other person down and, you know, they tap out and say uncle, right? So one person dominates over the other. And so one person's a dominator and the other person's submissive. And so often narcissist and codependent relationships are like this, where the codependent or the often empath, the person concedes to the other person, even if they don't really agree. They just like, they don't want to fight. They're just like, fine, you win, I'll lay down and you can pin me down, whatever, right? So there's like an apathy or a giving up of personal power for the person that's submissive, and definite dominance and over assertion for the person that is dominant, right? So often like bully victim, right? So the bully pins the victim down and the bully wins and the victim gets exhausted. Or the victim retaliates and becomes the bully, and the bully becomes a victim, or there's a bystander in there as well. So that whole triangle of bully, bystander, and victim, they switch positions as the different dynamics happen and people want to get back at you or get even, or this can even happen in passive aggressive conversations where all of a sudden there's like a weird sideways sarcastic kind of cut, and it came out of the blue. That's you're in this triangle, right? And somebody's trying to dominate your energy over like alpha dog kind of energy can happen, where if there's a leader and somebody doesn't like that leader, they might try and take them out and be the leader by insulting them, by haggling them, poking at them, and it can wear the leader down, right? So not healthy either. So boxing, not healthy. Wrestling, not healthy. Consider a healthy way to have a difficult conversation or interaction is more like Aikido. So Aikido is a martial arts, and it's where they have the really cool big flared pants and they have like a bamboo staff, and the premise is that when your opponent comes, you let your opponent come with opposing force, and you interact slightly, like you might just kind of flip them over your shoulder. And what ends up happening is that they end up, falling on their own momentum. It's not wrestling because you're not submitting. It's not boxing because you're not going at like face to face, bang on. You're not opposing, bang on. It's also not denial because you are not ignoring what's happening. Denial would be more like wrestling. and being the submissive person over the dominance person. So denial doesn't work. I live in Canada. We have a high culture of denial for Canadians. And it takes something, and codependence, it gets tied in there too. So it takes something to not be in denial, not look away, interact in a way where it's not confrontive, but you're not ignoring it either. And this is an art. This is a skill to develop where you can comment about something that somebody is doing, but you're not confronting head on and making a big deal about it. You're just commenting of, oh, that was kind of a hurtful comment. And then you might go on for the next conversation, right? It might be something like that. Every conversation is unique, but it is like the Aikido style of being in conversation is, the premise is basically you interact in a way where the person that is opposing, the person that's in fear energy, ends up falling on their own sword, basically. But you do interact where it, like physically, it would be like if somebody's coming at you, you might turn to the side and maybe put your foot out, and then they might trip and fall. It might be that somebody's coming at you and you turn to the side, and you might actually even open the door so that they can go through the door and don't hit the door, right? Like it doesn't have to be aggressive or confrontive. There is some kind of interaction where you're with the energy that's coming and you let it go on by. You don't have to confront it. You don't have to submit to it, and you don't have to dominate it. You're just with it, you see it, and you let it go on by. So that's ideal. For difficult conversations, you want to be an Aikido master. The person that taught me energy healing, her name is Lynn Morel, and she introduced me into energy healing, and she's in her 70s now, and she's got 7th level black belt in Aikido. And she's a very petite woman. And she's so powerful. She can stand there. And her energy field is so strong that her students, so she does Aikido, sorry, I missed that part. She does Aikido she trains every evening. And her students can come at her, and they will actually drop, and she hasn't even touched them. She is so grounded, so aware of her surroundings and what's going on, that that lower energy, that fear-based energy, can't get at her. That's pretty cool. So looking at your conversations, when there's a difficult conversation, of looking for the words that are not confrontive, but they are interactive in a way that the energy can go on by. That's what you want to look for. So try it out. Love to hear your comments about this. And if you have questions, please put them in the comments below as well, or reach out. And I'd love to have a conversation and see if I can guide you and support you in your life so you can have a more fulfilling ease and flow with your conversations. So let me give you an example before I go. So an example would be curiosity. An Aikido example would be like if somebody said a comment to you, say they criticized you. Say they said, are you going to get a haircut? Like, your hair doesn't look very good. Say they say something like that. An Aikido move would be, thanks for noticing my hair. That's awesome. Not concerned about getting it cut. I actually like it this way. Right? And the Aikido move in there is thanks for noticing. Right? That's interacting without confronting. The part where I went into, I actually like it this way. I'm not planning on getting a haircut. That could be a little bit defensive. So that was maybe sliding away from the Aikido. But the point about, like, if somebody insults you and you say thanks for noticing, that's a total Aikido move. Total. So what that does is you're not boxing, you're not defending, you're not submitting either. You're acknowledging and you're letting it go on by. So the criticism doesn't get hooked on you. It just goes on by. So try it out. Love you. Take care, and we'll talk to you next time.